Taria, how are you doing?
I am doing really good. I'm moving at 1,000 miles an hour. I need
Mhm.
to slow down. Like literally right now, I'm like, oh my God, the Home Depot bill is due today. Oh, please. I hope it's not the cutoff time before it's tomorrow. And I have got to slow down. Yesterday morning, I left out early to get an early start on the day, and I went and got gas, and my mind was a thousand different places, and I thought I heard the gas click like it was done. So when I got out, I didn't look at the pump because I thought I heard the click. And when I pulled it out, gas shot everywhere down my
No.
clothes, my sneakers, my sweatshirt, everything because I put 30 in and I was only at 27.
Oh, no.
So,
See,
and I was like, you know what? You need to slow down before you literally set your world on fire.
those are not New Jersey problems.
I know, I know. I miss New Jersey because all you literally have to do is, especially when it's cold, put the window down a half inch. Fill it up
Just
on 6. Thank you.
yeah, just like slip him, slip
Slip the
him.
card through. I missed that in Jersey.
I know, I know. Wait, Taria, I can hear some feedback. Do you have headphones by
Yep,
any
I'll put the
chance?
headphones on. I'm glad you said that. Yep.
Yeah. Not that I don't love the sound of my own voice. I actually hate it.
No,
Um
I was trying to be cute, like for aesthetics. Like, oh my
I
God.
know. No, I thought about it because now that I'm on YouTube, hi, hello, I am on YouTube. I'm like, should I be making more of an effort? Because these headphones are from Amazon for $7.
So, okay, I have to subscribe to your YouTube. So I have a YouTube too, and I don't wear them just because a lot of times when I'm recording, I'm in the house by myself. So
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about people walking. But then occasionally somebody will pop through or Corey will be like, oh, you're good. But then it's like, you're you. So I'm just gonna wait. Yeah. You're putting the dishes up, but I'm good. Thank you for putting the dishes up though. But no,
Yeah,
I'm not,
yeah.
I'm not good.
We're not great.
We're
We're
not
not.
good. We're not good.
Um, yeah, no, the mine going 30,000 miles an hour, totally, I feel you on that. It's so funny that
It's
you're like the Home Depot bill. Like,
literally, I'm on it right now. I'm like, I made it. I made the cutoff. Okay, I just got to put it in right now, and I'm done.
okay, it's so weird because I recently got like a bill from Macy's, which is weird to me because I like haven't been to Macy's in ages, but it must be something like leftover from like a bill from like last year or something because it's $2. I'm like, you're
Get
wasting all this
okay.
paper
Come
for
on.
$2. Isn't that kind of pathetic, Macy's, for you to be even asking for $2?
For let me tell you, I would get so pissed. Back in the days when I was paying my credit card bill in full, and I would think I was paying it in full, but have my dates wrong. So then I'd be like, yes, it's going to report zero balance, and it's like 275 because of the interest. Really, you couldn't have just let
I
that go.
I think it's so messed up. Honestly, it's rude for them to
It
even be
is
asking for
two
$2.
dollars. It
$2?
cost you more to print it on paper.
Yes, exactly. Ugh, God.
By the
Okay.
way,
Yeah.
I'm a stripes person and I love the stripes on you. Just
Oh,
wanted to let
thank
you know I love
you.
stripes.
Thank
So, yeah,
you.
you look
This
good.
is that hey, thanks. I did nothing today.
But but I feel like that is when sometimes you glow your best. Have you ever been in the mirror sometimes and you're like, skin is popping and I literally did nothing. And then there's other times when I'm intentionally doing something and nothing is happening.
Yeah, that's pretty much the story of my life. When I
But you're
feel
g
like
yeah.
when I do nothing to my skin and when I try like very little to put like very little makeup on and stuff, I'm like, the pictures are gonna look great because I'm gonna look like myself. But then when I put on makeup, or worse, when it's somebody else does my makeup, I'm like, I don't know about this.
Yeah, yeah, and
I
I'm
know.
finding the older I get, I feel like makeup sometimes makes me look older, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay, I don't wanna be that." So, yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. Well, my skin is good because I do get the Botox and I am that's like I'm obsessed with my skincare.
It
So,
looks that's how I am. My hair, I could care I mean, I
I mean, if I
we
had more of it, then I would I would do way more with my hair. But we're doing the best in the words of Mariah Carey. I'm gonna do the best with what I got.
with what I got, period. Listen, that's it, and that's all. Your cup is so cute. I'm a mug collector, so I love it.
Oh, thank you. This is from my one of my best friends from Georgia. She gave it to me and like a little she made me a little boo basket when I
That
visited
is
her, and
so
I
cute.
know it's two little skeletons lovingly staring at each other. And I'm
Yes.
like, "When do I get this skinny?"
I'm calling your husband, getting your mom's phone number. If you get so skinny to the point where I have to carry your tits for you and say, where would you like me to sit these? Because you can't put them on your frame.
Well, you know what? We're already there because I breastfed 2 kids, and
You
so
know, no. Well, you can't tell that you're there. I'll say that. You cannot tell.
Listen, you know who's really skinny? The entire fucking cast of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
So every single one of them, and it's almost to the point. I know we say we don't comment on women's bodies, but I sometimes feel like it's different when women are talking. You
Mhm,
know what I mean? So
mhm.
um Erica to me is on a slippery slope.
It's just she got pellets in her butt or whatever.
Yeah. No, they're hormones, like the GLP-1 medicines that can regulate your hormones. That's the part she's leaving out.
I know, it's ridiculous, like, and I wish that she would just say it because it's like, "We're all on it, babe. It's fine." Like, it's totally okay. And here's the thing, it was especially jarring when at this reunion, they flashed back to last year, and
Ooh.
I was like, "Whoa, I
What that's
forgot."
and that's the other part of me being a woman that is I'm also like, she looks better.
No, it's so fucked up. When Donnie was on, we talked about this too, and, like, this is, like, the fucked up thing about, like, my brain is I'm like, I know I'm so disordered. I'm like, "She does look really pretty and
I
skinny."
know.
But that's where I'm like, "When do I become this skinny, like a skeleton?" Because I like, listen, it's not my fault I was raised in the '90s. Like, I can't help
Hello.
it, okay?
With Guess jeans that like, are you a 26 or 27?
It's
None of those.
absurd. Yeah, when I was growing up in the early 2000s, when I was in high school, the size of a fly was half an inch on jeans, okay?
It's
You It
insane.
was insane. So, like, it's not my fault. I'm trying to unlearn it, okay?
Yes.
But the point is she does look really good.
She looks good. I was like, "Whoa, it's better." But, be careful.
But be careful because she's about to go bobblehead.
Yes, and that's it's like, "Okay, girl," like, 'cause you she literally has nothing, like, when did that happen? But versus Kyle, I think that Kyle, she's now her flashback, I was like, "Ooh."
That's a whole other face.
It's a whole other face, like, it's a whole she loved the bump, didn't she? The
She
bump
did.
ponytail
She did.
and the bangs. She looks really good, and when I saw her at BravoCon, even seeing her in person, she's short and small, so it kinda looked like that was her n natural frame
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
but she looks really good. All the ladies look good. I just want Garcelle to get a stylist. I've said it.
Okay, I'm really glad that you said that because Garcelle's fashions always like make me gasp. I'm like, I get it that you're trying to like be bold and stuff, and you should be,
You
right?
should be.
But maybe not this bold. I don't know.
There's something that just doesn't click.
Yeah.
It's like you are so beautiful and we are dealing with this hair and these clothes.
Can we talk about the hair? The hair isn't great.
It's not great and it hasn't been since she's been on and I'm so upset because again, she's gorgeous. I love when she does a ponytail and it like shows her face
Yeah, yeah.
or even when she does the straight look and it doesn't look wiggy. I'm like, "Come on, Giselle." Like to me, I mean Giselle. Well,
I
there
mean,
we
yeah,
go.
we would think about
There we
bad
go.
fashion, so
How dare you let Dorit get away with trying to do an edge, slay an
okay.
edge, and you
Okay, okay.
were they
We
baby bangs? Because that's what they're calling them.
No, the funniest thing was when they started this so hi, hello, everyone. Taria, thank you for
Oh,
coming to the podcast.
hi,
No
thanks for
pressure.
having me. Because this is our conversation.
This
We
is how it
cannot
goes.
talk and then be like, "By the way."
Yeah, yeah. By the way, we're here to record a podcast. So we're gonna talk about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and Real Housewives of Miami reunions. And the Beverly Hills reunion, the funniest thing to me was in the beginning when Erica visits Dorit in her trailer, right? And Dorit's like in her robe. The funniest was she has a little clip on her forehead
And it's not even a pin curl. It's not even a
It's
pin
not a pin
curl.
curl, it's just, like, one little piece of hair that she has, like, super glued to, like, her scalp or her forehead, and I don't quite understand because we did see her that one look that she had in her confessional, right?
Yeah.
Which was like, who is your stylist? Like, I need to understand, like, who decided, like, Dorit, like, what was this look that you decided to put together?
And I think she was trying to go for a sexy hood. You know how sometimes the girls wear the dresses with the sexy hoods? That just looked like a nun's habit almost.
Yeah, it didn't look good. Like, Gertie is wearing a
Yes.
hood in the next episode, in the Miami episode, but, like, it looks different because it's sexy. Like, there's, like, you see the
Yes.
juxtaposition of, but, like, Dorit looked like, to me, she looked like an auntie, like, because it looked like a sari, but then it was, like, draped over her
It
head, and then she had the one piece of hair sticking out, and I just, like, wasn't sure what the thought process was here.
She looked like she was going to the Wailing Wall. You know how you cover your
Yeah,
head?
like, it
And you
just, yeah,
yeah.
like, it looked like some sort of a like, an appropriation of some sort, but I couldn't
Yes.
quite nail what she's appropriating because it was a
Yeah.
lot.
It was a lot going it was a whole lot going on.
And
I just
also, the red was, like, not great for her. Like, I don't think that that's a
no.
pretty red.
No, and not for her, like, her
No.
skin to
Yeah.
I would feel like she would need more of a deeper, like, maybe cranberry versus such a bright
Yeah. Like,
color, yeah.
I don't think that that's a color that suits actually a lot
Mm-mm.
of people, but especially
Yeah.
not a lot of white people. And it's funny because she also said, wasn't that the whole thing in her season this year, like, where she got mad at PK because she doesn't wear red?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, was that a statement? I'm not sure. But we kicked off this reunion with
I have so many thoughts.
we jumped right into Kyle versus Dorit. Did you think that this friendship was gonna fall apart the way that it did?
I You know what? I wanna say that I didn't, but I will say this, I am not surprised because when I look at Kyle's history,
Mhm.
every time someone is brought on, even if it's by somebody else, Brandy Glanville, Dorit, Teddy, she tends to pull them in as her BFFs, especially when she becomes in opposition with the other person. But I thought maybe with her and Dorit, it was a real thing because their kids are involved. Seems like her kids knew her, their husbands are really close. So I didn't see it falling apart like this. And I certainly don't give Dorit nothing ever, ever. I've been giving a lot of things to people that I would normally never. And I was with her with the whole text messaging with like I was on her side with it because
Mhm.
you don't get to go on Amazon Live knowing people are watching and talk about our friendship and but then say it was in response to the things that you were seeing. If Dorit was saying Kyle's not my real friend, Kyle's not this, that would be one thing. She was basically letting us know I miss my friend and I feel like I'm being replaced.
Yeah. And then for Kyle to be like, me and my friends, we just, like, work out and we go on
Yeah,
walks, and, like, that's what we do now. Like, we just work out. Like, I'm always working out. Like, okay, Kyle, you just started working out, like, a year ago. Can you
a
relax?
literal year ago.
And, like, she's acting as if she has been, like, this, Teddy Mellencamp fitness girly. Like, she hasn't. You've not been that person. So for you to suddenly be like, it's just like, "Oh, we don't have anything in common because, like, we all just work out all the time, and, like, you don't work out." Like, shut the fuck up, Kyle. That's not true.
And not only that, like, I thought it was funny when Dorit was like, I mean, I did go once. And she's like, yeah, and you had to sit down. And she's like, I mean, a hike to you guys is
Yeah.
like a brisk walk. But also, I feel like Kyle adapts the personality
Yep.
of the people that she's with at that time. So now she's close to Teddy and Fitness Girly. So now that's her personality. Look at her and Morgan, whether they're together or not, she's adopted the personality, it seems like, outer wise. So she's a chameleon or a chameleon, whatever they call it.
A com
Come, a chameleon.
Very appropriate because of the man that Dorit's husband has caged in at a dungeon somewhere in their
Is
home.
that why he's in England?
Who knows? Okay. But okay, going back to the thing that you just said about like Kyle just turning into the people that she's like surrounding herself with, it's true because
Mhm.
when she and Dorit became buddies to take down LVP, she
Ah,
was she was opening up stores, right? She was
yep,
doing fashion merchandising, which is like what Dorit does. So it was like
yep.
it made sense that they were friends. And now that Kyle's not interested in that anymore, and she's doing other stuff, it's like, okay, I've moved on to this other person who I may or may
Right.
not allegedly be, you know, going down on.
Right.
Like,
Scissoring,
yeah,
all of
yeah,
that.
whatever. Honestly, go off, have fun. Who am
A
I to
part of
stop
me
you?
feels like she should this is shenanigans. I think Kyle is all shenanigans.
This is a
Hi,
new
Brock. Hi, Sheena. I think I feel like she wants to be the center of attention the way she wants to be the center of attention. She brought up her marriage a lot. She kept bringing up her rings this season a lot. She's bringing up Morgan a lot. And the ladies are it's one thing the ladies ask questions, but you continue to bring it up and I feel like she wants to make sure she's still the head diamond in charge, but
Yeah.
at the same time, don't get too deep. Don't ask too many questions. I don't want to have to reveal anything real. And for the love of every single dog at Vanderpump Dogs, please stop bringing up Lisa Vanderpump.
It's weird, isn't it? She's, like, kind of
Yes.
obsessed with her. Like,
Yeah.
relax.
Yeah.
You've mentioned her way too many times for a person who is constantly feuding with her. Like, it is weird because
Yeah.
Lisa Vanderpump does not bring you up on her show or anything that she does,
Right.
but you seem to bring her up all the fucking time as you
Yep.
still try to steal, like, her whole shtick.
I'm waiting for Kyle to open a bistro.
Yeah, right?
It's going to come next season.
Like, something about her is never gonna open, and it's gonna be, like, Kyle's Bistro right next to Sir. Taria, have you been to Sir?
Never. I've seen it. Me and the hubby drove by it when we went to visit little Corey in California. And I was like, why don't you get a job there? And I was like, actually, don't get a job there because I do not want to see you on that show on that TV.
It's disgusting.
That's okay. So you've been
Yeah.
then. I have heard people say that I've heard that bathrooms are disgusting. I've heard that they keep the lighting low because the booths and everything are dirty. Are you serious?
I went during the daytime, so the lighting can only do so much. And I genuinely was like, I've said this now that people are probably so fucking tired of me saying it. For the last like 4 episodes, I've been like, "Sir, it's disgusting." But it's true. It's so dirty. Like it looks like, when a place hasn't been dusted in a while. It has that thick layer of like
Yeah.
you're not sure if this is like grease or
Yes,
like
it's like and you can feel it in the atmosphere,
you
like,
can
oh
feel it. It's a sexy, unique, musty, dusty restaurant.
that is okay. I remember when Stassi was on,
Mhm,
and a couple times on her podcast, she talked about the bathrooms.
mhm,
This is gonna be so gross,
mhm.
but I remember reading the reviews, and there were so many reviews talking about women's
Products.
female products
Yeah,
all over the place.
I believe it.
That is so when I was younger, I could sit in a pile of asbestos and not care. I don't know if it's me getting older, but now even if I go to a Fridays or whatever restaurant, I'm looking around like under the table, like, is it clean? And I don't want to be that way. But I was telling my mom, I don't know what's happening to me. So I cannot even imagine.
Well,
Oh,
I didn't eat because I had to actually catch a flight and the rest of my friends stayed back. I've had her food also in
is it good?
Vegas. No, I've had the food in Vegas. It's like frozen food from Costco that you just like slap together. It's very basic. It's
Okay.
extremely, extremely basic. It's not good. But I mean, I get why she still has it because it's become so popular from like the show, right? It's just like
Yeah.
now a Vanderpump brand of like products. And like
Yeah.
that's kind of it. But anyway, back to Beverly Hills where
Wait, can
Lisa
I ask you,
yeah.
is the Vegas one beautiful
I mean, it's like a
or because
little
it's new?
it's new, but it's like a tiny little like it's like a leg up from like a kiosk. Like it's not very
Wait,
big.
I think I might have passed it at BravoCon going into is it in
It's
Caesars?
in Caesars,
Yes,
yes.
I did pass it, but so fast, and I meant to, like, go back, but I never went back.
It's tiny, like itty
Okay.
bitty. It's very, very small. So like the Airbnb that we were all hanging out in the
Yes.
Poconos.
No way.
I would say that it is about the size of like the living room, dining room into the kitchen area. Like that's how big it is. It's very small. It's very tiny. It's
That is which makes me think then, is Wolf going to be about that same size? Because remember she was saying, "Oh, it's small. It's going to be small," but her drawing or whatever or
Yeah.
mock-up appeared to be big. Wow, that is crazy. I wonder if Schwartz and Sandy's is dirty. Or wait, what's the other one? Not
Tom
Schwartz and
Tom.
Tom Tom, yeah.
I hear good things about Tom Tom, but that's also because
Okay.
it's, like, the newest one, you know?
That's true. It hasn't had time to get that layer of film yet. So
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Film, that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. Okay, Kyle also says that Dorit made things worse by making comments that exacerbated the quote Morgan situation. And I needed Andy to be like, "Well, Kyle, what is the Morgan situation? Will you tell
Yes.
us what the Morgan situation is?" Because I pointed this out, we never saw Mauricio and Morgan interact with each other.
Right.
At the white party, at the end of her party, Morgan was not there. At her friend's memorial, Morgan was there, Mauricio was not there. I've never seen those 2 interact with each other. I don't know
Are
what
they the
that
same
relationship
person?
are they No, that's not why I'm saying Imagine, you're like, "It's just Mauricio with a mask." The whole time it's been Morgan, actually.
The whole entire time, right?
Yeah, it's like Scooby Doo. But like, it was just so funny because later on when they brought up, like, Kyle's sexuality and, like, I forgot his name. I can't remember. Christian, I think his name is. He's a Bravo person.
Yes, Christian Snow.
Yes, it's so
Christian
funny.
Grey Snow. Yeah,
Yeah,
love him.
he posted the clip of, like, Sutton and how she's talking to Kyle, and she's like, "Even if you were, I'd have no problem with it. We would love you the same." It's,
Yeah.
like, very much like your drunk aunt on Thanksgiving talking to, like, your gay,
Your
gay cousin or
cousin.
whatever. Like, it was, but it's one of those things where it's like, why aren't we jumping deep into this? Because
Yes.
we're not, like, she's bringing this woman around and she's doing these highly sexual things, and I get that we don't wanna out people. Like, I understand the optics of, like, it's inappropriate to, like, out people, whatever, but, like, sexuality aside, are you fucking this woman or not? Because if it was a guy, we would be having this
And
conversation.
they're talking about Sutton and her driver. They don't have a problem talking about that and asking who
Exactly.
it was and asking. And not only that, you're tattooing your initial on someone for you to not think that someone's going to look at you like, and even though again, Dorit is like about as appealing to me as that brown hair. Um, even though a part of me kind of likes the dark hair a little bit, but a part of me kind of doesn't. But I get how she was like feeling like I would be feeling a certain type of way if that was supposed to be my like friend.
Yeah, because even if we think about them as coworkers, okay, fine, you guys aren't friends, you only film together. But let's say filming means you enter your office space together. You have an
Yes.
office buddy. That's your office
Yes.
bestie, right? And you walk into your office and suddenly that bestie is not talking to you. It is weird. Like
Yes.
even if you are just friends for the show, it's weird for you to suddenly flip the script and act like you guys are not friends at all because at your place of business you have been showing that you are friends. At your
And
place of
everyone has
business
seen it.
and everyone's seen it and everyone's like used to it. So for you to suddenly say we're not really that close and we're not close off camera, but then also sending her this absurdly long
Whew.
text message that basically tells her, let's not talk about it. The show gives me anxiety, this, that, and the other. Like, what happened, Miss Open and Honest?
And to say that she's been basically missing Dorit, but yet you haven't talked to me in 2 months.
Mm-mm.
People were more upset that Dorit leaked the manipulative text than Kyle for sending it the day before the reunion. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Kyle is to those women what Kathy is to her.
Yes.
She's exactly the same. So you send her this text because Kathy sent somebody a text before the reunion last year. I want to say, and then for Kyle to be upset that Dorit didn't get in the middle of sisters at some point. Even if you and I grew up together and you had a sister and I was close to both of you, there comes a point as adult women when you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
they're at the end of the day, they are sisters.
Yes. Yes. You can't get in the way of that. Like that's stepping into a relationship that like even it's so weird because in one way you're saying Dorit and I aren't that close. We're only
Yeah,
friends on camera. And then the other way you're saying, well, I think that you should be closer to me because when you and I have talked off camera, you have said that blah blah blah. So do you talk on camera or do you not? Are you close? Or are you not? Because you can't expect that out of this person, and that's the problem with Kyle. She always when she doesn't quite know how to nail her argument, and she'll start to do this thing where she starts saying all these things and bringing up all kinds of stuff, and then she's like weirdly doing that like lizard
that lip thing. Oh gosh.
like lizard like nervous like, and then she's like smacking
Yes.
her lips. Like it's just so distracting. You're like, oh my god, what is going on with
Oh,
you?
I hate that lip
I
thing.
hate it so much. So it's just like bizarre. Like I wasn't sure. I appreciated that Andy jumped right in and got
Yeah,
into the Kyle and Dorit stuff. I really, really liked it. I thought that that was wonderful. Even like Kyle defending. This is so funny, by the way. You mentioned that people are more upset about the text message being leaked than the actual text message itself. But the people who are upset are like Teddy and Tamra. And of course, Teddy's going to
that's
say
true.
that because Kyle got on the reunion and got mad at Dorit for not defending Teddy, like at BravoCon.
That to me
Sure.
was insane. I remember when he asked that question,
Yeah, you were
he
there.
was shady in all the panels, and you would have absolutely loved it. We were, and when I tell you, it was, I'm seeing it in my mind. The way he would zoom to the mic and get them was so funny. But for you to be upset that she didn't defend Teddy,
Teddy?
wasn't the question to her anyway?
Yeah. The question's to Kyle. Why is Dorit gonna say anything? She's like, well, Anne Marie said something and Erica said something. It's like, yeah, well, Anne Marie and Erica are up your ass, Kyle. That's why they
Yes.
said something. Like, who
Yeah.
cares? So weird. Um,
Anne Marie spelled like, I mean, Anna Marie spelled like Anne Marie because it's Dutch.
is that what she said?
Yeah, she said it's a Dutch name. She
Okay.
said it's Anne because Andy asked her and she said it's Anna Marie spelled like Anne Marie because it's Dutch.
Okay, that's fine. We'll call you whatever you want to be
She
called.
is to me, she's 8 Point Marie.
Okay. You know what? You know what, Anna Marie? I will call you what you want to be called because that's something I respect about people. When somebody tells me to call them or identify them as the way they want to be identified, I respect it. And so I'm going to call you Anna Marie because that's what you do, Anna Marie. You fucking transphobic piece of shit. Anyway.
Uh, and how about her looking at Garcelle?
Okay. Okay. All right.
Girl, I had to put my phone down because I was gonna send a string of tweets that that the Lord Jesus would not be pleased. And I said, put your phone down.
Cara Berry said, muting this Anna Marie
Yes.
segment for my mental health. Because, like, honestly, okay. First it was Dorit and Garcelle. Now it's you and I have had so many text messages about this. We've talked about
Yes.
this. It, spoiler alert. Taria and I think that Dorit is a Karen. Yeah. We don't think that she's an unconscious Karen. She's a conscious Karen. Like she's not
Yes.
even. And so like all of that was just whatever. But then for Anna Marie, I wanted to know your opinion about it because
Okay.
the argument here is that, Garcelle is saying it's messed up for Dorit to say that she was attacking her, that Garcelle was attacking her when she was not, and how that comes off when a white woman says that to a black woman. And Anna Marie says, well, when Sutton said I was yelling and I wasn't, Dorit was the only one that said she's not actually yelling. Now, I will say Sutton is also a conscious Karen. So,
Yes,
like,
she is.
bleh.
She definitely is. But also, Anne Marie, you should have said, I wasn't yelling. What you said was, I'm sorry if I'm yelling.
Yeah.
That's what you said.
Mhm.
Um, Sutton has been an unconscious Karen since, I mean, well, I feel like it's a conscious Karen since the very beginning, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to give her a little inch to breathe. Oof. It's hard because I don't trust her. I feel like she plays the, oh my God, I'm such a frazzled white woman. I'm so funny. I roll my face and I talk about riding a man like a bull. And girl, I don't buy it. But
Mm.
I'm trying to give her, I'm growing. Like Candace said, growth. So try, try. I was of two minds, and I know you feel the same way. I'm a black woman. You are a brown woman.
Mhm.
We are not white.
Yeah.
And when we see one of our sisters who is non white you want to immediately be like, what we not get ready to do is not have my sister's back in front of these white people. That's what we
Yes.
not get ready to do. I'm just letting y'all know. For those of you that are non-black or non-brown, these are conversations because it would almost be like, and you can say, oh well, it shouldn't matter. I guarantee you, if it was woman against man, what do we say? Support all
Women.
women.
Yeah.
So I was like, Anne Marie. I felt like she could have phrased it better because she really put the I'm a black woman too, Garcelle. And but then there was a small thing that like a part of me that was like, she's right.
Yeah.
Um
That's the thing. She's not wrong. And you know what? For Garcelle to be like, yeah, but you know what? Everybody yells at everyone. And it's like, yeah, but
you
Garcelle,
can't do that.
you can't do that because that is actually Dorit's logic too, that we all say that we're
Yeah,
attacking each other. So like you
yes.
can't what Garcelle should have said in that moment is, you know what? You're right. That was wrong. And you defended yourself really well. But
Yes.
that's what she should have said, right? But instead, she's like, and it's also funny because later on, when Anna Marie is like getting mad at trying to come at Crystal, she's like, "You said Sutton was a racist, bitch. You just fucking called Sutton a Karen. So like, what are we doing here?
Right.
It's whatever." But
It,
I'm with you
she
where it's like when this is a conversation for Anna Marie and Garcelle to have like off camera because
yes,
it's
yes.
complicated in a way where I do think Garcelle could have handled it better, 100%. I
Me
don't think that
too.
her response was good. I don't think Anna Marie is wrong.
Hmm.
But it's also one of those things where it's like, let's table that for the Sutton segment.
Yes.
Because
And
right now, Dorit and Garcelle are fighting, and you're coming in defense of Dorit instead of like saying, I understand what Garcelle is saying.
And that's what I was waiting for her to say. I thought she was going to kind of tie it all in together and try to bring them like back to like, but she did not. I when she said that, I was like, but then and when it comes back to Sutton, Garcelle, even with Sutton and Crystal, Garcelle discounted Crystal's experience,
Yeah.
and Garcelle is discounting Anna Marie's experience, but has let us know that her experiences cannot be discounted, which I understand and I support her, but we got to do the same
Yes.
thing. Like you said, she could have, because remember, like as Anne Marie was saying it, for a minute, she kind of like threw her hands up, like, and I thought she was getting ready to say, you know what, you're right. I can't,
Yes.
I thought that's what she was going to
Yeah.
do, but she didn't. And and that's another thing. Sutton sat there mute. Sutton never comes to Garcelle's defense.
Nope.
There's a reason why Garcelle always comes to Sutton's defense. And sometimes it's about being next to the person that has the privilege in the room.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
and I'm not
yeah.
saying that they're not friends. I think it may have started out where the two new girls were in
Yeah.
alliance and then they found out that they liked each other. So I do believe that they're friends now, but it's like, oh, Garcelle, I wish she had handled that one better.
Yeah, and also I think like we said, I think Garcelle was wrong, you're right. She should have handled it better. And Anna Marie, if she had said, "Yeah, Garcelle, you're right. That is messed up." Instead, she said, "Well, this happened to me and nobody defended me and you never said anything to me and your bestie Sutton did blah blah blah." Instead of using that moment to say, this also is wrong when Sutton did it, and Dorit, you were also wrong for doing it. Instead, she sort of used it in a
Yes.
way to be like, let's excuse Dorit's behavior
Yep.
because other white people are also doing it to me. And that's where I feel like you get into like, this is wrong.
Yeah.
Dorit,
And it's not a conversation to have in front of the audience because there's too much nuance to, or if it
yes.
is, it needs to be a little bit longer.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Dorit's bubble. She does a really
Child.
shitty job of defending her post, and I'm just glad that Andy was like, "Yeah, it didn't land, Dorit.
Yeah.
Like you're just." Here's another thought I had. Do you think that Kyle saw this stuff and decided, "I don't want to tie myself to this sinking
Mm,
ship"?
yeah, because it was a lot coming. And I worked really hard. I had to sit down with Garcelle the beginning of last season. I
Yeah.
totally understand. And now it's like, that's what we're not going to do. We're going to
Yeah.
back off of that. I can see that.
Yes.
Oh, that is such a good point. I didn't never thought about that till you said it. Like, oh, this ship is going down, and who knows if Dorit is going to be returning to the show? Because there's been talk about her not
Yeah.
returning. Then she had a robbery, and then she returned, and there's, we don't know if she's going to come back next season
Yeah.
or not. So,
Well, we're now peddling this, like, idea that maybe she and PK are breaking up, who knows? It came up once in the beginning of the season when it premiered,
yes.
and then we never heard from it again, but conveniently, this morning, I saw that there was, like, PK seen outside without wedding ring on. It's like, he probably just had too much salt and, like,
And
it doesn't fit.
yes. And what's interesting is looking at them, and I know this is wrong, you would think, oh, maybe Dorit wants to get rid of him for a younger model. But I low key feel like PK is like, I am sick of her. She talked too much.
She talks.
She always doing Karen stuff. Listen, PK likes Meg the Stallion. I'm not saying that means anything, but what I'm saying is there's a lot of different things PK has said that I was like, PK, I see you. Okay, I see you. So I think it could be PK being like, she talks too much. Like, I want to be rid of her.
Also, people forget that Dorit and PK got married, like, a second before they joined the show, and then they immediately had kids. And they've not been together for that long, so it's
Right.
very much possible that PK is like, "I left my wife and my adult kids for this, like, woman who's 10 years younger than me,"
Yeah.
and, she was, like, a fun fashion girl, and she is still a fun fashion girl, but now she's a mom with PTSD and anxiety, and PK's probably like, "This is not what I signed up for," which is fucked up, by the way, like,
It
you
is.
shouldn't do that, but, like, PK's also a piece of shit, so, like, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, that's also a thought process.
And but also, too, just like you said, she was this fun fashion girl when she first started the show.
Yeah.
She was this fun, say what's on her mind. Now she's changed. And PK said that. He
Yeah.
talked about the labels like she has changed since he was saying it in a roundabout way. Like I know he wanted to be like, since you've been on the show with Erica Jane,
Yeah.
you have changed.
Also, we're spending all of the money we don't have on glam.
Remember those $18,000 Hermes plates
Oh
that
my
she got?
god.
Ma'am, you are the 12th owner of a home, meaning at the same time, like
And then
all 12 of y'all own that
she
home.
served literally minute rice and, like, beans on it was like chickpeas and minute rice on Hermes
On
plate.
Hermes plates. It's speaking of the unconscious Karen, because I've seen people say, "Oh, Garcelle makes everything about race," which, by the way, newsflash, and I know that there's been black and brown people that have said it too, and I kind of side at them a little bit, like, because let's be honest, every day our conversations could be about race, something we experienced, something that we saw, right?
Yeah.
But I want people to me, what really shows me who Dorit is, and I get it when you live if I grew up in all black neighborhood, my friends would be all black, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you didn't see white. So I get if there are some white people that don't have black friends, if that's your bubble. I think for a lot of us black and brown people, we have friends of other races because they're
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
But when Garcelle asked Dorit, do your kids see what like black or brown people outside of the people who work for you in your home? She didn't say no. She didn't say I have others. She said my mom's best friend is black.
How could we forget? Dorit's
That
mom's best
tells
friend.
you, yeah, that tells you that was me. Remember that was
Yeah.
my costume. Do you know, side note, Donnie told me that bitch sesh loved it, saw that video, posted
Oh,
it, and
I was
said
about to
I
get
was
my smile dropped because I was like, "Who do I need to fight from bitch side?"
sesh. You're wait, everybody watching the video, if you did see North, it really went like, say what?
I'm just ready to fight
You
with
went from
someone.
Beverly Hills to Jersey
Real
so
quick.
fast, so fast. But they thought my costume was Mama Joyce. What? I said, now these two white women here didn't piss me off. And I was riding for y'all. But for her to say that, that says a lot. It's one thing if you don't have them in your circle. I'm not expecting all white people to have
Yeah,
black friends because that's not
yeah.
the way the world works. However, for you to say my mom's, like as a way to, it just,
Like, it was honestly, and then when she says, "I'm glad that Crystal came at her for the child bride comment. I was really happy that she said it. And I loved when Dorit was like, isn't that, it's a compliment, whatever. And then I loved the shot to Garcelle. She goes, "This is what I'm talking about."
Yeah. Literally so fast. It was like, and the nerve of you child bride, when we were out getting degrees. Crystal has a degree.
Yes, it's so
What are you
stupid.
talking about?
It's so stupid. Like, there are so many things we could say about your marriage, Dorit. Your husband had a whole other family. Like, should
A
we talk about that?
whole
Let's talk about
other
the husband.
family.
Like,
Yes.
let's do it. Yes, I have side-eyed over and over again Crystal and Rob's age difference. It gives me the ick. I don't
Yes.
like it. It makes me very uncomfortable. But they're still fucking married,
They're
okay?
still married.
They're still married. They're very happy. She's got that Disney money. She's doing
Listen.
great. She's got her coconut water business. She's doing just fine. But I'm glad that they showed this on the reunion because I didn't feel like they really quite did that on the show.
Yeah.
Yet they talked about how the whole thing with Crystal is that Crystal doesn't have her own voice. She doesn't talk enough. She doesn't talk
Mm.
enough, whatever, right? And that's really bothered me because as
Hmm.
Asian women, we are treated a certain way. We're expected to be quiet and
Mm.
obedient and subservient and sort of like not ruffle any feathers, especially East Asian women. South Asian women also, but especially East Asian women. And
Okay.
so I think like for them to constantly say like Crystal doesn't have any opinions about anything until she blows up. And it's like, no, she has opinions. You guys literally don't listen to her. You never listen to her until she loses her cool, and then she has to scream and yell and get you guys to listen. And then you say like, why is Crystal getting so upset? Why is she so condescending? Why is she talking down to us? Because you guys don't get it, because you're
Right.
idiots. You are
Until I come
idiots.
at you and say,
Yeah,
you're not that smart.
exactly.
And when I think back to first season, Crystal, she had a voice. Y'all just told her to pick a different word. And yeah, when she
Yes.
said basically, I know that may be a big word for you because y'all didn't realize that violation
Yes.
could be used multiple different ways. She was correct in the terminology. Even the audience was like, that's the wrong terminology. She was correct in the way she decided to use it. When she came at Sutton, all of them surrounded Sutton.
Yep.
And you need to pick Eve. And I had a very big, not a very big, but I side-eyed Garcelle a lot that season. Like, come on, sis. Like, you see what's happening. And then they would say to Sutton, what can she do to make it better? So you're silencing her, and then she also has to come in and appease Sutton. But you're exactly right about that, about Asian women and that's the stereotype.
Yeah.
And then you're constantly saying she doesn't have a voice.
Yeah, and you're saying she's, like, not educated, you're saying or, like, you're saying that she's, a child bride, like, all these things. A child bride also first of all, it's stereotypical and racist. Secondly, it also implies that this person didn't have, the, ability to advocate for themselves or
Mm,
autonomy in their choices to get married, right? So, like, there
right.
is also that component to it. It's just, like, all it's such a deeply it's such a deep and heavy word that Dorit is an imbecile for using and not understanding and not like correcting. I mean, glad she apologized, but like
Mhm.
with Crystal, you said first it was Violate, then it was Dark,
Yes.
right? Listen, is Crystal kind of a bitch? Yeah, but that's why she makes a good housewife because she's like snarky. The way she came at
Yes.
Anna Marie, I loved it. She was
Me
like,
too.
I don't care what you have to say, but like, you're not a doctor. Stop saying you're a doctor. You keep saying you're a doctor. Did you see she went on? Ugh, I don't want to promote this podcast. Don't listen
Oh,
to it. Just
yes,
watch
I already
the,
know.
yeah. I'll just say it rhymes with Glucy Floose. Uh, the Glucy Poop podcast. She was on with Schmother McSchmomod, and she said, she said, actually, in a couple of years, all CRNAs are gonna be, they're gonna hold doctorates, so they will be doctors. Yeah, but you still are not. Like,
You're still
you're not
not.
a doctor.
And your reads fall flat. For you to say, I think Crystal's upset because she didn't go to medical school. Neither
Neither did
did
you.
you.
That's so
And I
funny.
believe Crystal when she said my sister's, and because people are saying, well, at least Anna Marie did correct herself in the conversation with Crystal, but she was intentionally misleading
Yes.
for her to say, for her to say, I'm an anesthesiologist, and then Crystal's like, oh wow, my sister is, and then you say, well, I'm an anesthetist, but people don't know the difference. That is so reminiscent of Jen Shaw saying, well, I'm really not black, but in Salt Lake City, people thought I
Yeah.
was black. What?
Yeah. It's like, just
Say who you are.
exactly. Just say who you are. She could have said, I'm a nurse anesthesiologist, or like, I'm a nurse. Why
Yeah.
can't you say that you're a nurse?
Because
It's
to me, it's just an insecurity for her. And she keeps trying to
exactly.
deflect by making it about you're trying to down my profession. No one's trying to down your profession. We're actually downing you because you're lying.
Yeah, and also you already are looking down at your own profession if you're not telling people that you're a nurse to begin with. If you're telling people that you are sort of like a doctor, but you're not.
I'm sort of, me too.
Yeah, like, but Crystal's like on a rampage. She keeps saying stuff like, she posted something saying, I went to the zoo, so now I'm a koala bear.
You can tell she's stepping into her housewife's bag because when Andy said, what do you want people to know? And she was like, I'm here and I love it. I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
we are getting Crystal. Did Anna Marie ever say Crystal's lying about that whole conversation? Because all she said was, now I'm going to tell you the real truth.
Yeah, like, no. It's just so ridiculous. She never actually says, and even with like the eating disorder stuff, saying that
Girl,
Sutton has an eating disorder, insinuating that Sutton has an eating disorder, all that stuff, like, she never really quite apologizes to Crystal. She apologizes to Sutton, but
yes.
she never says sorry to Crystal. She has like some sort of bone to pick with Crystal, and it's very weird. And then I was obsessed with Crystal being like, with Anne Marie. Anne Marie says, I don't want to be a part of this false narrative that you're bringing up, or like, I don't want to be part of this like web of lies. And Crystal was like, you're not going to be a part of it. Like, you're not a part of this group, is basically
And
what she's saying.
I love it. And on the after show, it's really weird because normally no one sits by themselves.
Yeah, she sat
Anne
by
Marie is
herself.
by herself.
I saw that. Well, you know what, guys? I don't know if you know this, but so her husband has been there's been allegations of,
Hmm.
rape against her husband. Also, she and her husband are publicly transphobic. Like, so I'm pretty sure Bravo was like, we're not doing this on our best franchise where we already have shit going on with Erica Jane
Yes.
and fucking Kyle Richards. Like, we're not doing this.
Outside of um, the allegations against her husband, and then someone who worked, I believe it was the Office of Student Affairs, tweeted that he worked there during the time
Ugh.
and that students, multiple women
Ugh.
came in with their complaints and the university silenced them. I can send you
Ugh.
the thread. And then the people commenting under the thread were like, I was there during that time and I remember this. I mean, he literally worked in the office and called out the school.
Ugh.
So it's like, okay, when they asked her what her husband was, do you really think she's going to give him higher than an 8.5?
If
Come
I
on.
and also, I don't know why we're still talking about how this is a good thing.
Like to say, just
If when I ask my husband, how do I look? And he hesitates for
yes.
even half of a second before he compliments me, I'll murder him. In
I'm
that
pissed off. I'm
it
like, "Oh, what are you trying to say?" He's like,
Yeah.
"Nothing. I haven't said anything." But what are you
Yeah,
trying to say?
exactly.
Now I got an attitude. I'm mad.
Now I have an attitude. Exactly. Exactly. When I turn around and I say to my husband, "Do you love me?" and he doesn't immediately say yes, now he's an asshole. Now I'll be like, "Do you love?" and he'll be like, "Yes."
And as a matter of fact, now I'm mad. Why you didn't say it first? Because you knew when I turned around.
But to go on national television and be like, "Yeah, my husband says I'm a solid 8.5."
I'm a B average across the board. Oh, but
Off.
her body was a 9.
Oh my
He didn't even
god.
give that a 10.
Not even that a 10, and she's got a great body. Like, what
Yeah.
what are we doing here? And
There's
also
something about her that just because I wanted to look at every situation objectively, but
Mhm.
there's something about her that just is so annoying.
I don't think that she's gonna get a second
I
season.
don't think so either.
I think Bravo's like, "Bye." Because
I'm
she
sorry, watching that after show, I just was like, they didn't pair 3 people together, like, that said a lot to me.
yeah, they didn't even stick you with Kyle?
Right, right. Your friend,
Your fr
remember?
Yeah, your friend? I don't understand. They couldn't find you, like, a friend of. Isn't it weird that Kathy's gonna be on the show next week?
Why? And you were not even in the entire season. I'm so sick of seeing her and hearing about her and Kyle and their family dynamic. I'm over it. Why are you here? I almost burped into the mic. Sorry, my Coke. I would rather there's a lot of Coke going around these days. Here's mine.
You're having your cutlery of Coke.
You think this is still cut with Coke? I don't know. I I would have preferred Kim before Kathy because Kim was actually on the
Yeah,
season.
I don't understand. Why did Kathy just show up? Like, why is she there? I don't
You know,
understand.
I thought somebody was being funny when they posted the picture of her saying Kathy at the reunion. I was like, oh my God, people are so crazy. Like they're so creative. And I was
No.
like, that's real? I did not.
Why? It's like, why? What is she doing there? She run like we barely even talked about Kyle's family. We talked about Kim, and yes, they talked.
Right.
Kim and Kyle talked about Kathy, but then like bring Kim on. You know what? Do
Right.
a separate interview. Like, what is this?
Yes, yes. Bring them to the clubhouse and let them have it. I am so tired of this Hilton trifecta. I am tired of it. But Kathy said, I'm coming to silence all you hoes. All of y'all are gonna be quiet.
All right, that's fine. And you know what? It's funny that Kyle sent a text to Dorit to get her to be
Mm,
quiet when didn't they get mad at Denise for sending cease and desist and get mad at Kathy for telling them to be quiet?
yes. And also, you know it was gonna make it hard for me and my family when you questioned me and Morgan. Denise was going through a custody battle that you all knew about, and y'all
Yeah.
did not have a problem having Brandy talk about this situation and then continuing to talk about. So, Kyle, don't open your lips to talk about somebody outing you or it's not cool because y'all did it to Denise over and over and over that season.
Yeah. Or open your esophagussy as Sutton showed
I'm
us.
sorry. Wait, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What did you just say? So I can put it in my vocabulary.
Did you see the picture she posted in her stories, Sutton?
No.
Sutton posted a picture of her esophagus, and it straight up looks like a vagina. And
So you said
so I
esophagussy.
said she posted her esophagussy. She
I Let me text that to myself right now.
Don't worry, it'll be the title of this episode.
I was good. Thank you. Esophagussy. Nice and tight, huh? Nothing can barely pass through.
Nothing can barely pass.
Oh my. You're going to make me go to her stories after this, and I don't want
Oh, I'll
to,
send
but
you
I'm
the
going to.
screenshot, don't worry.
Sun is out here busting it wide open with
No,
her
and, like, when I
esophagussy.
retweeted it or I posted it in my stories, Donnie was like, "Oh my god, I thought that you were putting your pussy on main," and I was like, "No." I thought Satin was putting hers on main, but it's her
Wait,
esophagus.
right? It's like, Noor, what is going on?
I get it, you're on YouTube now, but are you also on OnlyFans?
But you know
What's
what?
going
You have a vagina, so you're a gynecologist.
Yeah, oh, there you go. We did it.
We did it. I'm an ENT. Once I see that esophagussy, I'm now going to be ENT.
Okay, let's head over to Miami.
Oh, Miami's.
You wanna talk about shenanigans? This is exactly the type of hootin' and hollerin' that
Yes.
I live for. These 2 episodes of Miami. Just a bunch of ladies that don't make any sense,
No.
just yelling.
And then they will rectify it and go on to film a season and interact and
Yes.
cut up again.
Yeah.
And it's rinse, repeat.
Yeah. What would you
But I
do?
love it.
What would you do if you found yourself single and your boyfriend gave you a promise ring in your 50s?
First of all, I'm not calling you my boyfriend in my 50s.
Right.
We're dating. We're seeing each other. We're
Yeah.
partners.
Yeah.
A promise ring, I would be so you did this on TV? You couldn't just tell me you saw this beautiful piece of jewelry and it reminded me of you and I want to give this to you. A promise ring? Marcus, this looks like a wedding band. No.
It's not. It's a promise ring.
Do you promise to talk to your daddy about us?
Will you get your dad's permission to marry me?
Like, how dare you give me a promise ring?
Embarrassing. It's very embarrassing.
Are you
Like
not embarrassed?
it's so embarrassing. At a ripe old age of
She's not giving
50?
up. You know what? She's not giving up as much esophagussy as she wants us to believe.
Not at all. 5 times a night? I don't think so.
Such a liar. When Gertie said one time can get the job done,
I'm with you.
maybe two. Maybe if I just have my back to you and you just do what you got to do from the back and I throw it back every once in a while. Second time. 5 times. I'm built. I'm gonna be honest. I'm like built more for speed. I don't really like. I don't need. I don't want all night long. She can't. Then I use the bathroom. No, I'm not. I'm not built for all that. 5 times a
No,
night. No.
no. You're gonna give yourself a UTI if you do it 5 times a
Listen.
night.
And then that means I'm getting up 5 times to pee because I got to pee after every time.
Yeah, but I don't believe that she is.
Oh my God. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't believe anything. Larsa could tell me that, Taria, your birthday's April 4th. I don't believe you. You wanted me to believe your butt was real. I do not believe you.
Yeah, you want us to believe that you never got any plastic surgery.
And now all of a sudden you're so demure. I'm really going to stop because my family doesn't want her talking. You think?
I mean,
I'm drinking this Coke and I keep wanting to
you
just really
did.
burp in the mic.
You know what? Do it.
So that could be the clip that people clip and just post it to my stories. Me burping full throat into the mic.
Listen, as an adult woman now, there's nothing I love more than a good old belch. I love
Sometimes
it.
it relieves pressure.
My God, no, this morning, I thought I was maybe having a heart attack, but it was just gas, and I let out a burp, and I felt so much better. I was like, "I
Listen,
gotta take this bra off.
bro,
I'm dying." And then I burped, and I felt fine.
like, what you think this is? Pressure? Like, come on, come on.
Yes, yes. Okay.
But I just, I,
No, nobody believes anything about her at all.
no,
And you know
no.
what? Bravo, why are you cutting away to Marcus? We don't give a fuck about this kid.
Especially that comment we found out he said, nor I immediately went to this is a like because me, Stephanie, and Zell were texting about it, and I thought it as soon as he said it. I immediately thought of like, oh my gosh, they're Latina, and he's trying to be like, and I know we have Gertie and Kiki, but still. And Stephanie was like,
Mhm.
this is a Latina cast. I said that's immediately where my brain went to. He knows
Yes.
what he's saying.
Yes. It just like it was so gross for him to sit there and say shit like that. Like you have a
Yeah.
cast of pretty much all women of color. Yes, Marisol and Alexia and Nicole are passing. But these are all women of or Lisa also. Lisa apparently is Jamaican. We didn't know that. Wasn't that shocking?
No, I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
I looked at her and thought possibly one of us may jump off the family tree somewhere down the line, but I wasn't quite sure. There
Yeah.
was something to her, but then her kids looked so white. I was like, I'm not sure, but this is gonna be like, is she like Black Jamaican or is she like? Because we know that there's
Well, there's Indian Jamaican and
yes
Asian
and
Jamaican, right? So,
yeah.
like, yeah, it was hard to tell. People showed me pictures of like someone posted, I think on Reddit or something, pictures her childhood pictures, and
You can tell.
you could definitely tell there. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I
She reminded me of when I first saw Brie and said, we got something down the line in there
yeah,
from Roni.
yeah, yeah,
But then you forget about that with her behavior and her and the way she talked about how Lenny treated her mom. Isn't it funny though? Because didn't she tell us that her she was estranged from her
Yes.
mom, and
Thank
that Lenny's
you.
mom was like her mom.
Yes. I'm like, "Oh, she's acting like we didn't watch the first few seasons because we know what you said about your family. You said that
Yeah.
you didn't have anybody and that you were an immigrant and, like, you
I'm
listen,
sorry. I'm
she did. She was like, "I'm also an immigrant. I'm from Canada." We're like
I'm sorry. Like,
I love this show. They're
what?
all so dumb. Like
Yes.
besides Nicole and Gertie, and honestly, fucking love Kiki. But
Yes.
besides the rest, because the reason I love Kiki is because Kiki might not know everything, but she doesn't act
Yes.
like she knows everything. And Kiki is
Yes.
like so sweet and sensitive because when they're having every single person is getting into fights, Kiki stops them and goes, "Hey, maybe you should stop for a second and just say, I understand what you're saying." And I'm like, why is Kiki
Yes.
the smartest person here? Because the thing about the show that I absolutely live for is when they fight with each other, especially like the OGs, because they don't make any sense. Like Alexia and Larsa having that fight at the end of the first reunion and going into the next one.
Yes.
But the fight essentially is Alexia's being like, I'm blah, blah, blah. And Larsa's like, no, I am more blah, blah, blah. And then Alexia's like, well, I think you're a blah, blah, blah. And Larsa will be like, well, I think you're also a blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you're both just fighting. It's like, no, I'm not, you are, but I'm more. And you are also
And
like,
you're
it's,
not. Yeah.
yeah. And it's so stupid. But I love it also because they literally were yelling at each other. Alexia goes into the back dressing room.
Oh,
She's like, "You should take the cape off. You look beautiful. Your makeup looks
yes.
perfect." And Lars is like,
Marcus, you better hug me.
"Yeah." Lars is like, so I need to talk to you about what just happened
Yes.
because they're just completely they like cut and they like move on. And I think
Yes.
that's also what makes it so fun."
Yeah. And it's low stakes drama.
Mhm.
Nobody's saying Marcus made them go into a room.
Yeah.
Nobody's saying that,
Yeah.
Todd is trying to
Grove
sleep with
producers.
the yeah. So it's yes. So it's amazing. Gertie's face. Oh my when Lars was talking. I've got to go back and capture it so I can post it. She's like
Yes.
I'm disgusted by you
Yes.
right now. Like it just and the way Larsa sits there so brain dead, like so brain dead. And Lisa, we don't need you defending Larsa. Just
No.
like, and I meant to touch on this with Beverly Hills. We didn't need Kyle to try to, you have such a problem with Dorit, but when the child bride comment came, you felt the need to come in and white explain to
Mhm.
Crystal.
Mhm.
It don't matter if she thought Priscilla Presley, like that has nothing to do with it. But back to Miami. Oh my God, I just want Larsa. I just want to fast forward every time she speaks, but I can't do that at the reunion because then you could miss something.
Yeah, and look, at the end of the day, she's not saying anything major of substance because she just lies about everything. Now, I
Yeah,
hate to say it, but she did look beautiful
she
at the
did, and she
reunion.
actually her like something with her facial work is better.
Yeah, I think she got some of her she and Lisa both got some filler dissolved, it
Yeah,
looks like. It looks like
her
there was some
body
yeah.
too.
Yeah, her body looked good too. They're probably on Ozempic,
Yeah,
let's be
yeah,
honest.
but I feel like she took whatever was in that butt out.
Yeah, I think, like, she just overall looks less puffy, and also the
Yeah.
makeup was really good, like, she looked
Mhm.
really, really nice. They all just looked so beautiful.
Yes. Didn't Alexia look like 'cause she was starting to look Muppet for a while, and she looked really good. They all, like you said, sorry to cut you off, but they were all just so gorgeous. I always thought Adriana was stunning.
Yes.
Like,
Now, Adriana, we gotta talk about her antics. We're choking, we're all choking! Adriana, she does that poem, she's got a rose, she's got these letters, she's got, like, just documents that she bring and she's so funny because she sits on the side and she's like, "Andy, Andy, please, Andy, Andy, I have something to say." And Andy's like, "Oh, what is it?" Oh god. And
here we go.
I'm with Marisol because Marisol's like, "This is embarrassing. I don't wanna be on the show with this woman,"
Like,
because just
crazy. But I am gonna DM her and ask her to talk about Marisol's esophagussy next
yeah.
season.
Yes, exactly. Okay, let's see. Marisol and Adriana got into it. I
Ooh,
don't care about this fight, to be
me
honest.
neither. It's so old. You guys have never. clicked like that, and although they were in your wedding, so I guess you did. But basically, what the fight is about is Adriana. You felt lonely. You felt like Alexia and Marisol still maintained a friendship, even though they were not as close
Mhm.
during these last years. But
Mhm.
you still felt left out. That's what it comes down to. But you can't necessarily say that, and you're not a mojito holder, so it's kind of doubly stings. Like here, even though Marisol isn't, but her and Alexia or her and yeah, Alexia are still close. I don't care. I prefer y'all don't get along in a way,
Yeah.
but I thought it was sweet that Marisol called her to say good luck. But also, I feel like she was reading the comments like Alexia, which is why Alexia came back and tried to do a 180, and now her and Julia sell jam. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god, the gym. Alexia starts to fight with Adriana over the Todd thing, and I just
Yeah.
died because the whole explanation she gives is that Todd didn't want to be at the filming because he didn't like the way that we were all fighting with each other, and he thought that like it was weird that we can say mean things to each other and then like come in and act like everything is fine.
Oh, he's not a Housewives watcher. Okay.
Yeah, and Adriana's like, "Well, yeah, but that's your job. That's like it's part of the job." And Alexia says, "It's not part of the job being a bitch like you are."
So juvenile, but yet just straight
So
to the point.
good. Like, she's not
Yes.
wrong, but she's
Yeah.
mean, but she's not wrong. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Like, I just love it.
Straight
It's
to the
not,
point.
it's not part of the job for being a bitch like you are. It's like, fuck.
Like you are. And she's the only one that tells the truth. I'm the only one that tells the truth here.
Yeah, yeah. So, and then Lars is like, "So what? You're like saying like we're like all like liars? Like that's what you're saying about us? Like that we're all like liars?" And then she's like,
No, I'm just saying I'm the only one that
"No,
tells
no,
the
I'm not saying that you guys are liars, but I'm saying that I'm not a liar." And it's like, "Well, no, what are you saying?" And then also
truth.
this whole thing about like Alexia, there was something, so people were doing coke, okay? They were
Yes.
doing coke,
In the bathroom.
not sponsored coke in the bathroom of Alexia's wedding, and the funniest part of that whole argument is Alexia's like, "No, that didn't happen," and Lars is like, "No, I think it was happening," and Lisa goes, "I mean, it's Miami, like, everybody's doing it all the time." Like,
Yeah.
"Yes."
Yes.
And then Lars is like, "Well, I was married to an athlete. I wasn't married to cocaine cowboy." I'm like, "Well, again, none of you are wrong."
Right. Right. But also, uh.
Yeah, exactly. None of you are wrong, but also, ugh. Like my
Like,
whole butthole clenches when they
yes.
fight with each
Yeah.
other, but I love it. It's so good.
And what I love about this, and this is probably not right, but with Potomac, you have Candace that's going to say a zinger that's going to be like, oh, she just sliced you. And none of them can it's not fun because they can't give it back. On
Yeah.
Miami, they are giving it back like boom,
Constantly.
boom, boom.
And the other thing is when somebody is wrong, they all agree, even if that's your best friend, they all say, "Yeah, that was wrong," right? Like
Yes.
Lisa said fucked up shit to Julia, and Julia, sweet baby Julia, sets her aside and is like, "Listen, this is why it's so sad. Whenever Julia cries, I start crying." But like,
Uh-huh.
she sets Lisa aside. Now, do I believe that Lisa gets it? No.
No.
But Lisa gave enough for Julia to be like, if I have to work with this dummy, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna take what I can get, right?
Yeah.
And like in that moment, everybody's like, Lisa, you have to listen to her, right? When Gertie and Larsa are fighting, they're like, Larsa, you have to listen to Gertie, right?
Yeah.
When Nicole and Alexia are fighting, Larsa or Lisa are like, yeah, I mean, it's not her fault that Anna showed up. Like they all will jump around. Like there isn't
Yes.
this like staunch, hardcore loyalty that like you see now on like Potomac and Jersey that makes it not fun anymore because you're like you're
Yes.
always going to defend this person's shitty behavior and that's not fun. What I love about Miami is that they all will call each other out on shit that they all do. You know what I mean?
Yes. And still, you could still be my best friend. Excuse me. I'm sorry. You could still
Yeah.
be my best friend, but you are kind of wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love the Miami women.
Me
I really
too. I
do.
think I'm going to watch that reunion again. Although I don't know, sometimes I never liked reunions. They made my stomach kind of, and the first reunion that I was excited about was Salt Lake City,
Yeah.
just because of that. But I may go back. If I don't go back and watch the reunion again, I just may go back and watch the season again, just because it's just Miami's hot, hot. Like
It's so
they
good.
get it so right, and Potomac could really take a lesson. And the fact that, like you said, they all will call each other out. They don't just have one lead who does it. Like, even Larsa makes sense sometimes when she was calling Lisa out about the divorce and her
Yeah.
always talking about it's like, wow, like you guys get it right. Julia said, I'm going to keep my mojito, so let me get in the mess this season.
I know. You know, I and that's what I love, like, I love when Larsa makes sense because when
Mhm.
she's talking to Lisa, she's really being so sensible and
Mhm.
so thoughtful. Even when she says even when Larsa, because she's wrong, but even when she's saying to Alexia, like, "Look, Alexia, I get it that you get mad at me that I'm always promoting stuff, but I have to have a business because I have businesses to run and I'm working.
Yeah.
I don't have a Todd, I don't have a Scotty." And Alexia immediately takes it as, "You're a kept woman and and you are not working." And it's like, they're also deeply, like, entrenched in their own insecurity that
Yes.
they're always getting so offended by this person who they also love so deeply, and I think, like, that's what makes it so freaking fun. Like,
Yeah.
but then Larsa is so dense because she's like, "Oh, Martina never told if Julia started dating Chris Everett's daughter or son, it would not be the same as me dating Michael Jordan's son." And they're like, "No, but it's exactly the same." And Marcus is like, "No, Andy, it's not the same at all." It's like, "Shut up, Marcus. What are you even doing here?"
And you, what do you even know? It's exactly the same. And I like Andy got excited. He was like, "That's a good analogy, Julia."
Yeah.
Like that was totally a good analogy. What aren't you like, Andy? For you to not think that, like Andy said that, Lars, I'm paraphrasing, that people aren't weren't going to like they're not
Yeah.
going to question you that you're dating your ex husband's teammate's son.
And also Larsa's so weird because it's like Larsa does this thing where she shows up in very obvious ways and then she gets annoyed when everybody talks about it, which is like
Yeah.
such annoying behavior. Like first season, her last season, she showed up with her fake butt and her OnlyFans and she's like, "Why is everybody like obsessed with me? Like all like you want to do is talk about like my OnlyFans." It's like,
Yes.
well, that's all you talk about. This season, all you talk about is your relationship with Marcus, and then you're mad that people are talking about your relationship with Marcus. And it's like, don't flaunt it, don't shove it in our faces if you don't want us to talk about it, because you wouldn't be so obviously like public about it if you didn't want people
Yes.
talking.
Yes.
And that's what's annoying about Larsa, but also like what makes her a great housewife.
You know what? She came back like, I left those other I was here one season and left and regretted that she left probably, and now she's like, "Oh, I'm back to stay."
Yeah, I also died when she was like, "Gertie, you're fake too. How am I the fake one?" And Gertie's like, "Do you want me to pull up a before and after picture? Like, what do you want me to do?" I died because that's like, I'm shocked that that's like never come up. I mean, it does come up on the
Yes.
show, but she just again pretends she's so delusional. She pretends
Yeah.
like it's like not happening. I just
Like, just like, when she was with Adriana and Kiki playing pickleball and the article came out about Michael, and
yeah.
so right away she's like, "Marcus sent me these flowers and gave me a card and said that I was the best mom and wifey." And they're like, it's like, "Okay, so you made sure to say
Yeah,
that
exactly.
because we
Exactly.
know, like."
Exactly. It's
Yeah,
so
she just
silly.
makes me want to, and it's so I wished Larsa needs a Candace level read, although they give them to her, but she needs one that's gonna stun her lips into staying or being open, like,
Uh,
because she made the comment, when I go low, or like when she feels, I forget what she said last season or whatever, but she'll go low
yeah.
or like really low. But also, Larsa reminds me of Dr. Heavenly
Uh-huh.
because they're very much hear gossip and present it as though I know stuff about you. And I was so glad they talked about that, even with Marisol. It's like, you don't get to say, "Oh, you're dating all these doctors, Nicole," or, "Oh, Lisa, your friend, you rent your house." Because, well, that part was true, but there's other things that
Yeah.
they've said. And it's like, you're getting that from someone. There's no actual proof of it.
Yeah, and then you're acting like it's totally okay for people to talk about it because it's, like, out
Yes.
there, but things that
Yeah.
you publicly shove in our faces, we're not allowed to talk about.
To talk about. And the audience will have a tendency, if you love Marisol, but don't like Dr. Nicole, when Marisol puts this out, you're going to say, "Well, we don't know if it's true or not. It could be true." Like, you're going to have a
Yeah,
tendency to believe it.
yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah.
silly. It's silly, but I love them.
But I love them so much.
I love
Miami.
each and every one of them. Like, even Lisa, as ignorant as she is, keep her. Don't people were, like, so mad that she should get fired off the show, and I was like, "No, no, 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 no. No, no.
Yeah.
No.
The- I
We need to keep her." First of all, she is an immigrant. So, we gotta keep our immigrants on Miami.
yeah, let's yeah. And all again, when these topics come up, Kiki telling her, "Hey, I grew up in Haiti."
Yeah.
And that triggering Kiki is like, and she was acting like an entitled like the white women sometimes that think because I think it, that's what it is, and it's like that's not reality though. And
Yeah.
when she was throwing the food at the dogs, but then we got that conversation
Yeah.
from Kiki, and we learned more about Kiki. So
Yeah.
it is okay, just like Garcelle was saying to Doree, I don't expect you to know these things, but when I bring them up, I do expect you to listen. So
Yeah.
that's all we're asking with you, Lisa. Just
And I also think that Lisa has a lot of, I mean, she doesn't have the depth to do the introspection, but I think if she was to do some introspection, she probably would unpack the fact that she reacts to people in a low income situations poorly, likely because of her own insecurities of how she grew up and like
mm,
things that she saw growing up and all that stuff. Like,
right,
it's all that stuff is related. So that's why you get so hopped up about money and all this stuff. And like,
right.
listen, I'm waiting for the shoe to drop with fucking Jody because
Jody,
no one is talking about this. Jody, like 2 episodes ago, they're like, she's like, "Oh yeah, we did the settlement and Lenny's going to build a house." And the house he's building actually happens to be this like house that Jody planned. I'm like, he just
that is
came across it on the internet.
right, right.
Like, that's a
As if
backdoor deal if I've ever seen one. Like, Jody and Lenny are in cahoots. Are you crazy?
like it's like he just randomly came across, and then you want to justify it by saying, "Oh my gosh!" And I'm in. Jody has Adriana's old house, and now it's like, girl,
Are you dumb? She is.
yes. I
She
was
is
going to say
dumb.
she is.
She
Yeah.
is.
Remember when her son said, "My money is your money"? I thought that was funny.
It
That's why
was
she opened
really
that bank account.
it was sweet though,
Hmm.
because my kids don't say that, and I wish
Yeah.
they would.
Yeah. Yeah.
They say, "Your money is my
It's
money,
my
mama."
money.
I'm
Yeah.
like, "You're
Yeah.
right, it is actually. Why else do I work?" What other thoughts do you have about housewives in general? What do you think about the state of Potomac?
Boo, tomato, tomato, tomato. Okay, so I'm trying to look at it objectively, like no matter who you like, don't like, used to like, don't like anymore. Again, watching Miami and then watching a cast member refuse to say another cast member's name after you brought this issue up with her husband. To watch her this season continue the narrative and say out of her mouth, Chris made me go into a
I
bedroom.
can't. Oh god.
When she already admitted last season that after Chris had to say it and it came out, that it was her idea to go and talk in the room. She's lucky that Candace is being as cool as she is, because I don't know if I would be able to, especially you're continuing this narrative. But for Candace to agree to move forward, like when Karen tried to get them together and Giselle's just like, nope, I'm not moving forward. I'm not. You're holding you're upset with Wendy because she checked you for talking about her marriage. So now you're not talking to her either. NECA, you come in, you call Wendy's mama a witch, say she's submitting you to a shrine, even though you never talked to Wendy's mom. It was LeBay.
Yeah.
Then you bring LeBay on the show to sit in your closet and never talk about the subject. It gives that you were sent maybe on a mission of some sort. And I just don't like it overall. We would rather Candace and Wendy and Robert be in argument
Yeah.
versus just completely isolating the cast. And then just Ashley's up to her usual tricks. It was just so disappointing to watch what was once so good. And not even for that I'm looking for more drama. It's like, again, looking at Miami and these women are screaming and whatever, and then they're crying and praying and hugging, concerned about Gertie's health.
Yeah.
What says it to me is last season at the reunion, when Andy brought up Wendy being assaulted because throwing a drink on someone is assault and hitting them with your purse or trying to.
Yeah.
And Giselle was like, "But because I don't care because I don't like her." What kind of human are you?
And that's the thing, right? Like, that's what's bothering me in Potomac is that there are like what we said about Miami. What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong, and that's why Miami works because they're calling it all out.
Yep.
And Potomac right now, we're at such a deep state of like intense loyalty to with these stubborn petty women that it's not right or wrong is not being called out. And then they call Karen she's defense because
Yeah. That tagline.
you ride me is the best thing in the world. I love her so much.
She
She's been
is.
the best part of the season.
Yes, and she's really trying. Karen is concerned about the
She
show.
is. She's like,
Candace is
guys.
concerned about the show. Like,
She's like, "Oh, did you see the video that Ashley like released after the
girl, yeah.
reunion?"
And I don't know if it's a goodbye or if it's I'm doing stunts and shows to keep y'all talking about me. So the internet, they know now, especially after that the seating chart came out, they know that Bravo sees what the fans are saying. So let me put out a video and let me be in everybody's mouth and let them see the fans don't want me going anywhere. So I don't know if it's truly I don't know what's going to happen or if she's conjuring up shenanigans.
Yeah, I mean, she might be. It might be
Yeah.
shenanigans. We don't know. But like it's I think also I think that she's also probably going to tell us at the reunion that she's not getting a divorce because she can't. I don't think that she
Yeah.
can. That
She
man has her by the whatever. And it's rough. I don't think that she's
yeah.
ever that he bought her that house.
Yep.
His name I think is on it. I don't know if his name is on it, but he bought her that house. They're not divorced. She relies on him financially. Like
Insane.
but like I appreciated Mia, who's kind of great this season also.
Yeah.
Being like, "Hey, if I had an arrangement, I probably wouldn't divorce him either." And she's like, "Let's own that. Let's own that part of it," you
Yes.
know?
And be honest.
Yeah. I need everybody to get the fuck over themselves on
Yeah,
Potomac.
that's
Like, just get over yourselves. All of you. Candace, I love you, but you got to get over yourself.
yep.
Giselle absolutely needs to get over herself. Like,
Yep.
you guys are not smarter than the show. And
And Robin, you need to get over Giselle because that's the reason you and Wendy ended on a good note last season. But
yeah,
then here comes
it's
Giselle.
ugh, it,
I do think Wendy and Candace will be willing to have a conversation with Giselle, but she's unwilling to have a conversation with them and then to bring up your kid's safety. Ma'am, you are the unsafe place with the stuff that you're saying and continuing to perpetuate. Last season, when Giselle didn't go out with them that night, those ladies put everything aside and they were all having fun.
mhm.
It speaks volumes. But I said this on Raven's podcast that I listened to Carlos King's video about the seating chart, and he said, and we know we have our feelings about Carlos, but he said basically, because people, I've seen some people, who cares about a seating chart? And then some of the Bravo people, or even Andy, will try to say it's not important. He said the years he worked on Atlanta, they would have meetings about the seating chart.
Yeah, I believe
He's
it.
so he said, and then he's knows these producers other than Eric Fuller. There's a woman producer, and he said, "Shout out to you. I'm not going to call out your name because you want to remain anonymous. Knock knock. You can look at the credits. But anyway, hello, Carlos. Like, be smarter than that. We
Yeah.
can figure out who it
Yeah.
is." But he was saying, "Good job. It was a good call." And I just want to say that Bravo has sent a strong message to not just to Giselle, but to the fans. We hear you, and changes have to be made. And this is basically like your warning. And he said, egos are involved. And I'm going to tell you, conversations were probably had during the season. Like, this is not a good look. But in her mind, it's, I don't have to talk to you, Candace. I'm going to be here next season. Let's see if you're going to be here.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's really telling that the two people who got the front seats are Mia and Karen because they
Karen.
actually fought with each other and then they actually showed up to film. Like that, it's
Yes.
very simple. Fight with
Yeah.
each other, but still show up to film. Like, I don't care if you're fighting with your coworker, you still got to show up at work, right?
And
Like,
interact
and
with them.
interact with each other. Exactly. And that's what they did. Mia said stuff about Karen said stuff about Mia. There's a rapper involved, whatever, all this stuff.
Yep.
Like, but they're still showing up and they're still communicating with each other and they're bickering and being shady and petty. And that's what the show is. I mean, the fact that Ashley got last seat on the
Whoo.
on the side where Candace is sitting is
Yes.
interesting to me.
Yes.
Cause like
I was like,
'Cause I'm the
mm.
same. I'm like, who cares about a seating chart? But then, like the Real Housewives of New York reunion when Jessel got seat next to Andy, I was like, yes,
Yes,
Jessel.
because we know it means something. Like people, it's like we know that. I mean, and again, I mean, because Carlos was saying, I know all of you guys that know so much about the production, as if I have not worked on
Yeah,
a show.
yeah,
He said we would have meetings about who would sit where and why.
yeah,
And I truly believe that. Come, I said, come on, we know that. There's been he said, remember season 8, Nene was she just came on the Jamaica trip. Portia sat there, but when Nene came out, she was like, thank you for keeping my seat warm.
yeah.
So it's
Exactly.
like we know. And oh, he did say, I I was like, I would love to love to have been a fly on the wall when they figured out where they were going to sit. He did say, he said, who, Giselle, you should be embarrassed because it's been 7 years. But also somebody told me, because he said to lose the first seat, he said, imagine them having Kim Zolciak in the first seat and Nene sitting next to her.
Yeah.
That's what it's like. But he also said, oh my God, somebody on I kept seeing people kept telling me on Twitter that, oh, I'm sorry, X, that
Nobody calls it that. Don't worry about it.
not like, come on, what, and it's not Elon Musk's internet, whatever. Um, that Giselle said, because I had tweeted like basically based on the seating chart, I wouldn't be surprised if cast members were willing to move forward for the sake of the show. And people were responding saying that Giselle basically pretty much said that on Watch What Happens Live, that she's willing to move forward. All of a
Oh.
sudden, you're now willing to move forward. And then to me, it's like a double-edged sword for these housewives. And I know that we do it to y'all, so sorry from the audience. But on one point, it's like we need you to conflict resolution. But when you've refused all season and now we're seeing a seating chart and now conversations clearly are being had, now all of a sudden you're saying you're willing to move forward, it rings as false.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's like I get it that you're just concerned about your job, which is fine, but then we really need to be genuine and like genuinely bring all that stuff up. Like own it. Like I wish that Robin would just say, instead of saying like, "Oh, Candace, you got everybody up against me and whatever." I wish you would say, "Candace, you tried to get me fired from the show." And
Yes.
that really fucking sucked because you know what my financial situation is. Like
Boom.
if Robin had said those words out loud, people would be on Robin's side because they'd be like,
Yeah.
okay, at least she's being honest and real. Instead, they're skirting around the fourth wall as if it's not there. And it's frustrating because it's like, I get why Robin is mad at Candace. I understand why Candace is irritated with Robin. But like,
Yes.
I get both sides of
Both
it,
sides.
but I
Yep.
wish that Robin would just say the thing out loud so
Yeah.
that Candace could respond to it. And she's not doing it. And it's just frustrating and it's annoying. And it's like, oh, now we're gonna get mad because Candace and Wendy are making faces. I will say what Wendy said was weird. Like for Wendy to be like, well, I wouldn't send my kid to college there. It's like,
Well, you know what's funny? I thought that too. I wouldn't have said that, but so this is interesting. I was supposed to go on a trip somewhere else, me and my husband with some couples in September somewhere else. But then tragedy happened with one of our friends who was going and her family. So she moved the trip to Florida. It was 10 couples, all black. And the conversation was, y'all sure we want to go to Florida? Y'all. So I got where when people
yeah,
have been, and
I get it.
my mom was
Yeah.
born there, but also I get what you're saying, Wendy, but sometimes you gotta be aware of optics, even in real life. If somebody in my circle was talking about how excited they were to go to FAMU, um, I'm not going to bring up because that's their child and that could create fear. You know what I mean? Just like
Yeah. Like I could say if
I wouldn't have said that.
yeah,
I get what she's saying, but also,
I think the thing to say there is like, I totally get it. I'd be very, very scared to send my kids there too. Good luck to you.
yeah.
Something like
Or
that. Or just
say that to Eddie. at night.
Yeah, or say nothing. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, say nothing.
Yeah,
And what got me is Robin bringing that up. Girl, you planned a whole family day and purposely didn't invite Wendy's
that's right.
kids.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
you don't get to say nothing about anybody's children. Also, clearly you and Robin had the conversation before you came downstairs, because then Giselle comes downstairs and says, I'm not talking to them today because
Yeah.
of that my
Yeah.
children, which I think was for production. I don't think that was for, I think production, because I was thinking when Carlos was saying, conversations probably were had to Giselle, like you
Mhm.
need to interact. She comes downstairs and is like, I'm not saying nothing to them today. You haven't been talking to them. So why all of a sudden are you saying, I'm not saying anything to them
Yeah.
today because of what they did with my children? And I'm gonna be honest with you. Let's just keep it a buck. First of all, they weren't rolling their eyes, they were making faces. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna tell you, there are just some people. Oh, you don't like me, you don't mess with me, I don't mess with you, your mama, your daddy, your kid, your dog, none of that. So I'm not interested in anything that you have to say about any of that.
Yeah, yeah, and it's totally possible that like Arthi had brought this up, which is that it's possible that when we're talking about how black people are treated in situations or a state that's very red, we're talking about a race issue here. And
Yes.
Giselle has very openly said that this is not something that she thinks that the show should be talking about. Like
Hmm.
she has talked about like how the colorism thing doesn't apply here. There's no such thing as colorism, blah blah blah. And like here we are worried about Grace, who is a she's much darker than her mother. And
Hmm.
so like if she had approached the situation with Candace and Wendy differently when it came to the colorism thing, this could have been a very different conversation. But I can imagine somebody like Candace being like, oh, now you're worried about protecting the safety of your child.
Right.
Like,
And especially when your father was a part of the civil rights movement.
yeah.
You worked down at the NAACP office, which is where you met Jamal. Your first season, you talked about your blackness to Katie, who looks like you, and said you act as if you're ashamed to be black. And Ashley called you and Robin out at the reunion and said they tried to look European.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden you don't understand the colorism conversation when it comes to somebody darker than you.
Yeah.
And like you said, all she had to do was say, I like you said, I would rather them just be honest. Break all the walls. Girl,
Yeah.
look, we just shading each other or whatever. We're just doing this or whatever. But see, I don't know.
It's
I,
it's it's tough, right? Because it's like
yeah,
I
it's tough.
understand that like Giselle wants I've said this before. Giselle and Robin want to have a fun or not Robin. Giselle and Ashley want to have a hee hee ha ha fun silly show. And they've
Hmm.
gotten Karen on board with that because Karen's like happy to shade each other and then move on, right?
Yes.
But Candace and Wendy have too much to lose. And I think Candace and Wendy are potentially too serious for the show. But I also think it's like if Giselle's having fun and LOLing, she and Candace gets mad because she thinks that like Giselle is laughing about a serious matter, and then she gets irritated. Giselle then takes that same standard and applies it to the shit that Candace says about her, right? And I think it's like they're all tit for tatting each other in ways
Hmm.
that just is making it not fun. Like I absolutely agree with you. Like break down the fourth wall, talk
Yeah.
about it, say how you really feel. None of them are actually saying what they feel about each other. They're all tiptoeing around it. And I wish that also Giselle would just be honest and say, like, I actually liked when she said, I wasn't mad at what happened to Wendy because I don't like her.
At least you were honest, right? But then you can't then take a different approach when it happens to Robin or your
Yeah,
friend. It's like, just be
exactly.
honest and be like, ah. But then when it happens to your friend, it also, I think the level for me is that Miami, they stick with each other.
Yeah.
I don't like necessarily the rumors, but the rumors are about that person. We have seen Giselle every single season attack someone's marriage
Yep.
and bring up rumors that it's like, to me, even the way Miami may talk about a rumor, the way it's introduced almost seems natural. Like you'd be in a conversation, like me and you are in an argument. And I'm like, Nora, I know you're not getting mad at me. You ain't get mad at that husband, blah, 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 from what
Yeah.
we heard. Whereas with Giselle, it's like Wendy got her body done. Maybe she's insecure because of the rumors about her husband. And you say it 3 or 4 times on camera until somebody picks up the ball.
Yeah.
And Carlos, and I hate to keep saying this, but he made a very good point. Back last year when they asked Robin, why didn't you talk about it like with Juan? And she said, I was waiting for Karen to expose me. And he said, the problem with Potomac is that they think the show is about exposing.
Yeah.
And when you go back and look, that's what Giselle has tried to do every single season. Monique did tell Wendy at the season 5 reunion, you're next.
Yeah.
And boom, she was next. So that's my issue. We can have fun, we can shade. They can shade with the best of them. But then when you start talking about someone's, we went from rumors about Eddie to now someone's husband, you're uncomfortable. He didn't do, like, your story has changed so much. And now it's gotten so much bigger. I mean, I heard him do an interview and talked about the emails that he got from his kids' teachers because
Yeah.
their kids' teachers are like, what's going on? But yet you're talking about Giselle, you're worried about, like, for the safety of my children, I'm not going to, or my family, I'm not going to indulge in conversation with them. It just really pisses me off because it's like you don't get to say whatever you want and then expect, like Karen said, you were a broken down whore from Hampton University
Yeah.
with a hot bikes and stovepipe legs.
A classic.
Like, I mean, it was amazing, right?
Yeah.
Portia on Rugged called you a black white girl, but you didn't like the way Candace said with your white looking, but it was basically the same
I mean,
thing.
here's the thing, like, I think also Candace's delivery comes with a lot more anger and hurt,
Definitely.
whereas
Oh, definitely.
Giselle and
Oh, yeah.
Karen will, like, I think also ultimately, Giselle knows that Candace is a smart person. Giselle doesn't think that Karen is smart. So when Karen says anything, she's like, "Well, she's a fucking idiot." That's why she doesn't take anything Mia says
you,
seriously.
you know what? That is
Wendy
true.
and
Oh,
Candace are brilliant women, and so Giselle is more upset when really smart people talk to her that way because she's got some, it's like she feels like they're at her level or they can, like, they're too intelligent.
that's
So I
true.
think
And you
that's,
said silly, fun show.
it's
So
a silly
that,
fun show, and so she's
right.
like, then you're
Yes.
not making it fun and silly, right? You're like, you're not, now
Right.
you're coming at me about other stuff. And so I think it's like, it's, that's all it sort of is, and it's like heartbreaking to me because I love this show with all of my heart. Like, I
I mean,
always
a
say this,
stripper inheritance, that was the
a
gold.
stripper inheritance. Like, the core of the show, the funniest moments of the show are Karen having a press conference about her taxes and a mime interrupting a fight between Giselle and Karen. Those are the moments of Potomac that we
Yes.
love. But, like,
Yes. Now let
fighting
me
about
ask you,
faces that somebody's
who
making, who
cares?
cares?
Now let me ask you this, and this is the last time I'll bring him up, but because I kept pulling different nuggets. So on the show, so basically, Carlos used to review Potomac, but then last season he was like, "Oh, I'm done because of this show, blah blah blah," and he coined the term, not Michael B. Jordan, but Mia be lying.
Yeah.
So all over Twitter, it was like people that listen was like hashtag Mia be lying.
Yeah.
He said she called me, she cussed me out, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
He said with my platform, and I get it, we know he needs to focus on his shows, but he says basically I'll be trying to give the housewives um, a little bit of advice. He said with Nene, when Nene and Kenya fell out, all the girls stopped talking to Kenya, and Kenya came in alone. So I pulled Nene to the side and said, "Is it that deep? You want the show to succeed, and
Yeah.
by icing someone out, it's not." And Nene said, "No, it wasn't that deep." He said, "Then you see Nene have a conversation with Kenya and shows up with Kenya, and the girls are like, 'Oh my gosh!' And Nene says, 'Kenya wants to have a conversation. I think y'all should hear her out.'" And he said, "That's what a force multiplier is. Yeah, you can get in it with them, but you also help move the story along."
Yeah.
So he said, "Some people take my advice." He said, "I do call," because he called Giselle like the number on his list of 10, the number 9 greatest housewife. But he said, "Some people take my advice, some people not." So when Mia called me, I kind of was telling her,
Yeah.
you might want to stop being a follower. You might want to start
Yeah.
stepping out on your own or whatever. This is what I'm getting to. And I want to ask you if you can see this happening. He said, "So I'm going to tell you, egos are involved. Mia, you got first chair. He said, so a target is now on your back next season. He
Yeah.
said, and the people that you think were your friends, and they would say, oh, that's just Mia. He said, I don't think that's going to happen anymore. So what do you think? Do you think that we may see a shift if everyone comes back, or mainly Giselle? Because I definitely don't think she's going to lose her job. But,
No. Yeah.
do you think that Mia could now become like a
I
target
mean,
on her
it's
back?
interesting. It could the target could be on her back because she's gonna come in divorced with a new boyfriend that she was allegedly sleeping with before the divorce happened, right? So, like,
They're old sweethearts.
yeah, it's just Mia be lying. Like, who knows what is what?
Hashtag Mia be like,
Right? So it's like I could totally see that. And it would be interesting in that situation to see how the alliances shift, right? Because
that's
Mia
true.
and Robin have gotten really close. So what's going to happen now, right? Or like Mia and
Yes.
Ashley have gotten close. So what's going to happen there? Obviously Mia and Karen are fighting, so does that mean that Karen and Giselle team up together and take Mia down? Like how does and that's the thing.
Oh,
That's the stuff that makes it fun when nobody is really loyal to each other. You see that on Salt Lake City,
right.
that's why it was good. You see it on Potomac or on Miami, that's why it was good. Classic New
Right.
York, that's why it was good. New Jersey got not fun when we had teams and the teams
Okay.
refused to break.
Okay.
Beverly Hills wasn't fun when we had Rinna forcing everybody into teams. It
Okay.
wasn't fun anymore. And Potomac is currently in teams. We cannot have
Okay.
teams. We need everybody
Okay.
to fight with everybody.
We need one, but the only teams we need are the audience
Yeah.
and the show. Like those are
Exactly.
that's a
Exactly.
that's a good point. I didn't think that's a really good point.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. And it's a good point about Giselle wanting it light and funny and fun. But then if you're arguing with someone who can be that, but also, I mean, is smart, it's not going to work out how you think. Yeah, I wish they could. I do wish they all could just move forward. And I feel like a part of me would want to see Robin without Giselle,
Mhm.
but then a part of me would want to see Giselle without Robin, because that would force her to interact, because then a hardcore alliance would totally be.
Yeah.
But I don't want friends to fight, so it's not like I want that or necessarily lose their job, but I do think something has to be done. I do wonder if no one's going to go anywhere, but between this seating chart and production sitting down saying, so check this out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of a little bit more interested for next season because of all of this.
Yeah, let's see, because this season is flop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, the cherry blossoms are not in bloom.
They're not in bloom, okay? Hell, they're frozen. It's not working. Taria, what do you have going on? What else is going on?
Look at you. Podcast. What else is going on? Wherever you can find all of your podcasts. Y'all, please come over to YouTube and subscribe to We Go Podcast, WEIGO, all caps, podcast, and come Kiki. I'm trying to do a video or two every day. I mean, the beauty that I love about YouTube is that I don't have to wait. So when things are coming out that I want to talk about, I want to be able to hop on and talk about them and get feedback. So it's really fun. So please come over there and subscribe. Help me get my subscriber count up. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you for having me. I always have the best time.
I could talk you for like to you for another hour and a half, but
I know, just about,
just
all
about
of this
everything, all
craziness.
the
Yeah.
things. Yeah. Well, I love you. Thank you for being here. Everybody, thank you for listening. I will be back on Sunday to talk about traders with my brother. Did you watch this week's Traders yet?
Have I watched any week's Traders?
You're not
I
watching
know.
Traders?
I know. I tried, right? And I watched 2 episodes and I was like, all right, I'm going to get back to it because I was a little distracted and I never got back, but I'm living vicariously through
Okay,
you
that's
guys.
fine. That's
So
fine.
when I hear y'all do recaps,
That's
I
okay.
feel like I know what's going
Yeah,
on.
that's
But I
honestly
heard that.
spoiler alert, spoiler alert.
Wait, did that happen already?
Yeah, it just happened last night.
Oh,
Yeah.
you might want to bleep that out.
Yeah, I'm going to. We're gonna put a big old censored on that. Um But it was good. It's a beautiful show. It's a beautiful show. I can't wait for it to be back. I was saying to my brother, I don't think that we need any new reality TV stars. I just want all of them to keep going on Traders. That's it. That's all they should do.
Oh, so you don't want, because I've heard some people say they want regular people on Traders.
No, the regular people suck. I only
Okay.
want the reality TV people because they're dumb as bricks, and it's so good to watch these idiots together.
Was is Phaedra like really, really like, because from what I'm seeing, people are like praising her for being so
Listen, she made me forget the reason why she got kicked off of Housewives to begin with. So
okay.
it's like she's good, man. She's good reality TV. That is why it is such a shame that she did what she did to get kicked off of Atlanta. Like, oh, it drives
Okay.
me crazy because she is such good reality TV, but she
Yeah.
is like inarguably a shit human being. She's a bad person, that Phaedra Parks. Okay?
Whew. Speaking of, we're gonna see Apollo on Married to Medicine. Yeah,
For,
another person that's
why? For why?
a Hail Mary
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
come back.
They really tried it with Married to Medicine. Oof,
Yeah.
talk about a flop.